posted for those who. Okay, cool. How do you guys want to run it? Do you want me to share the Excel first with all of
Yeah,
you?
I think we'll share the Excel, the work we've done on the tasks and the task breakdown and the list that we've prepared.
Sure.
And then I think our team, the consultants, they'll share the extra tasks that they've added to your service.
Awesome.
And yes, then they'll also talk about the AI tools that they're managing to integrate and how these tasks further integrate with the service you already have in place.
Absolutely.
So I think that should be the flow of the presentation. And if you have any suggestions or questions, you can definitely ask us while we're presenting. So if
Absolutely.
that's okay.
I'm super looking forward to. Go ahead. You guys have the right to share your screen.
Yeah. So I think Falguni.
Say hello to Snig. How do I call? Is it Snig?
Yeah, Snigd.
Snigged. Okay. Man, your mom and dad, have really chosen a name for you. I'm pretty sure it's like really hard for people to know, how do I call this guy? It's a cool name. It's really a cool. Yeah. Snigged.
I mean, just a second. I'm just fixing my laptop too.
Take your time. Take your time. How are you, Olga? How are you, Chacho? Are you
Good,
guys back in Paris, or you're still, I remember Falguni was in Italy, and
I'm currently I'm in London visiting my family for the weekend. But yeah.
Home.
Yeah.
It's not a great.
I'm back in Paris.
Oh, you're back.
Courses, for the work.
Yeah. I'm in Paris too, Anis.
Okay.
But I won't be next week.
Like all of you have become, globetrotters, just flying. So typically when you travel between Paris, Italy, London, you guys use a train or you fly?
A train. Okay. Yeah. It's actually more scenic and more relaxed.
I always like, Eurostar. It's like amazing, actually. This flight journeys are a headache, There is a guy called Sriram. Okay, it's our guy.
Yeah, Shriram.
Cool.
So I think to begin with, Falguni, you can share your screen for generate revenue, and then we can move forward if it's fine.
Sure.
Go ahead, Falguni. Hi, Sriram.
Hi, sir. Hi.
Oh, Falguni, I'm supposed to do this for you, isn't it? I'm supposed to give you the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I tried to do that, Falguni. For some reason, I could not do it. I'll try to, maybe, do something about it. I will give you the, Sales Navigator access.
Sure, yes. Anis, no problem.
Go ahead, Falguni.
For now, either way, it was just like, I think, improvising on this list. Mm-hmm. So in the further steps, when we'll need more specific, because like for prompt generation, we'll need more specific, like rules or like specific set of instructions to put on the documents. Sure. So at that point, sure, I will take the access, but for now it was really okay.
Cool.
Okay, so I think this is the original
old
sheet
one?
this is the old one. I don't know why it's glitching this much. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this is the edited version.
Sure.
So basically, there's not many additions in terms of the number of steps, because I think what you'd given was an end-to-end comprehensive document. It actually included the start of the sale to the end of the sale. So I couldn't really think of anything to put in between. But I just thought, how can we make each step better within the step itself? So I've not really messed with the number of steps, but I really thought, like, what can we do better within each?
Sure. I would have been amazed, if you added any new step. But I want to be amazed in the next, how many ever months that we work together, because, I have broken my brains, to come up with these steps. And if you could, give me another one, I would be really surprised. And but I'm really looking forward. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I think The main thing, I think, until download the target audience, there's not much to change. I think it's just, I mean, we're looking into, okay, I think the one new step I did add is identify if you've worked with a similar client before and look into your internal database. This was not explicitly put in here, but I'm sure you guys do it.
But what do you mean by that actually? Like, for example, we are onboarding the client, right? Or
Yes.
Sorry, this is not onboarding. This is basically, asking who's your target, right? So
Yes.
you're saying, let's ask the client, oh, you know what? We never do this. Let's ask the client if they have a database. Is that what you're basically, meaning?
That's one thing. But if, let's say, you have two clients that are both selling pens. So there is an overlap in the leads potentially. If not 100%, if there's even like a 75% overlap, or even 25 for that matter, I think it's a great value addition in terms of saving time. You can just directly transfer those leads into this sheet and start working and building on it. And now you have.
Falguni, we don't do that at all. We don't cross-pollinate. That's what you mean, right? We don't cross-pollinate at all. It's something that definitely we will think about it, right? But I think what I picked up from this amazing new step that you have started with is always ask the client if they have a database.
Yes.
If they have a set of accounts, if they, what did they do all these 20 years that they've been doing something, right? What have they got already? Why should we not take what they have already done as our starting point? Right?
Definitely, because I feel like maybe they have a great database of great leads, but they couldn't reach out well. And maybe that's where you could pitch in.
I agree.
So that's one thing we can do.
Cool. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Another thing is to clean up their internal database to fit new needs according to the new times. Because if
you
it's
can call up, clean up and enrich.
Yes.
Typically, they will have some 5-year-old, thing, and it will have all the wrong email, all the wrong, everything, right?
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, it's clean up and enrich. So, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and then for identify the right target and download the target audience, I didn't change anything at all.
Yeah.
But for clean up the target, I'm not sure if you already do this, but you can actually integrate Sales Navigator with SFDC with Salesforce.
Just a quick thing, so we use HubSpot. So you can put HubSpot sync, Sales Navigator, HubSpot sync. Now, yeah, this is a huge problem that we have currently, for our clients, right? I think we have to really find a way to solve this problem. We are currently using Excel sheets for all of our clients.
Yes, to maintain a dashboard, right?
Yeah, to maintain a dashboard that can be shared with them so that it doesn't mix with our, CRM. We could easily make a CRM for every one of our client, but I think that might become too much, too much work to create a CRM for every one of our client. But
definitely, I think
that is something that I need to think about how to do this. But right now, the cleanup the target is Excel sheet. But what I really want you to think about, right? I can give you an example, Excel sheet, which comes after, we downloaded it. Falguni, you can play with it and say how we can write something simple, like, almost like a function or something where you say clean up and then it just cleans up everything.
Okay, it could be an Excel add-on as well in that case.
It can be an Excel add-on. It could be a ChatGPT, cleaner. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, for example, we can write ChatGPT, hey, can you clean all the duplicate records, out of this thing? Or, I don't know, maybe a few things that we can think about, right? But we struggle today. All my refugee graduates, they struggle with this type because I do it very easily. I create a pivot table. I clean up all the unnecessary people, unnecessary, duplicates. For me, it is so easy. Like Falguni, for you also, it'll be really easy. If I teach you how to clean up an Excel, you will do it in 20 seconds. But for the people that are trying to do this, right, this is a very difficult skill for them.
Yes, I'm following, but I have a question. Is there a possibility to have like a standardized Excel sheet where the first page is a pivot and it's always linked to the data, and you can just like we can teach them to just navigate the filters of the pivot and like apply filters and clean up. Will that work?
That's exactly how I have done it today.
Okay.
So I just tell them copy paste the data here, all the pivots will happen automatically, and you just have to and in fact I can even show you how I've done it, right? Clean up the duplicates, clean up the industry, clean up the titles, clean up the locations. So it's literally 4 pivot tables. All you have to do is to just clean up each one of them. But unfortunately, I think they are just struggling, but that's okay. I just want you to know.
Right, then I will look for like an add-on or maybe like some sort of way to do it. If there's some app integration with Excel, I'll
Hello?
Yeah.
Anish, have you tried the VBA part which you can record and keep give us as an add-on yourself? I think that would be something.
VBA, is a bit boring and old tech, isn't it, Sriram? I was thinking of using ChatGPT to come up with an Excel add-on, which will basically say clean up. They have to just say, in the search option on top, they'll say clean this Excel or clean my target, and then immediately it will just fire up a command and clean up everything, something like that. Yes, it is a VBA, but it could be a ChatGPT version.
Sorry, can I add a little point for this? So in terms of the method, is there any possibility that we consider the VBA for Excel? It's basically just like the internal prompt for Excel, but I don't know if this is feasible or you have already considered this option.
No, I think we can easily consider a VBA, but what I'm saying is, we could generate this VBA script using ChatGPT.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Thank you.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, very loud.
Okay, awesome. So for segmenting the target, right? I mean, there is get it approved by the client. That's just speaking to the client and seeing that's there. And for segmenting, I found this tool called Science Intent Data. I'm not sure if you've come across it, but let me just
show me.
1 second. I'm unable to move. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Science.
Oh, I also put the link beside. We can just see this because they do a lot of like it's basically a sales analytics tool.
I see.
So it basically tells you when your leads are most active on what days and what are the keywords in their posts that you can relate with your sales pitch and pitch it back to them. So basically condenses the entire profile into a much simpler format for you to see, because I think a lot of the times when you go to the LinkedIn platform, there's a lot to decipher by yourself. But I guess this just like compiles all those insights and like it's just that much faster. And it also gives you a fit score with your lead, and you can segment using that fit score, right? If they fit above a certain percentage, you can put them in a certain bucket and so on and so forth.
I want to give a quick feedback, Falguni.
Sure.
Anytime, this is not just for this particular project, this is just your life feedback. Anytime you see a website like this where they have not mentioned the price, run away from them.
Okay.
Anybody knows why I'm saying this?
Because they're most likely going to be very, very expensive. And even more if it says like book a demo, it's because they want you to like see it and then.
Exactly. So when, just to make a point, can you instead of Science, go to Zoom Info? Just go to zoominfo.com or Zoom Info. Yeah. It's $1 billion company. Yeah, the first, second both. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, right? And if possible, I'll try to give you access to this. I'll click on, look at, here there is pricing, just click on pricing. I'm surprised, they have put pricing over there. Just come, look at that. These guys are even more cheekier, right? When you see something like this, you have to run so fast away from these guys. When somebody is hiding their price, right?
Right.
You just have to run away from them, because no startup can ever afford these kind of people. Just to give you a sense, they charge something like $24,000 for just looking at the thing. And if you want to download them, they will charge $1 per record.
That's a lot.
That's just,
That's
that's basically how they become a billion-dollar company, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But what I have is the software that I choose typically is a Silicon Valley startup. Snig is again, I think Snig is having a lot of problems. Yeah. Okay. I just typically, can you type apollo.io? So typically what I do, LLO.io. Yeah. So typically this is again not just for me, it's for all of you, just as a thing. I would always choose, some kind of like a new kid on the block. Zoom Info has been around for, I don't know, 5-6 years, multi-billion-dollar company. Apollo is maybe a year or two old. Super smart people from Silicon Valley, working on this. This will also be a billion-dollar company anytime soon. Okay. So this one has exactly everything that you wanted. And look at this, just click on the pricing. Not bad, is it?
Not
Yeah.
at all.
Not bad at all, right? And these guys have pretty much, you will be really surprised. They don't say, look at the way they are selling, right? They are selling some email credits. You understand? It's all just email credits, some emailing stuff, right? But if you go inside this, which I'll provide you an instance of this so that you guys can go check this out. We have got everything, the buying intent and selling intent, and in fact, I'm working with their product management team on a new thing that I come up with called hyper personalized emails. So today the email marketing industry, right, is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and everybody sends one email to tens of thousands of people, right? That's how email marketing works. I'm sure you guys know this, right? That's how the whole world works on email marketing. There is no surprise, right? You guys know this.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I'm working with them is I'm telling them, look, what if I'm able to, for every person that there is there, I will understand all the activities that he has done on his LinkedIn. I will then create a summary of all his activities, use a summary to ask ChatGPT to write a hyper personalized email to that person, and then add my pitch, fully configured for that person. So it's literally asking ChatGPT 3 different questions. How do I pitch to this person? What is the right service that I can pitch to this person? And then combining them as one email and sending it to them, completely automated. And their product management team is working with me to actually do this as a feature, right? So it'll be really cool, and I'll give you access to this platform so that you guys can look at some of those things that Falguni was saying. You can go back to Falguni, but I just wanted to show you some, so that because you will look at all these fancy products all the time, okay? But if even before you read, click the pricing section. Always.
For sure.
Always click the pricing section, and if it is below, if it is above 100, you won't be able to afford it, right? And we are talking about very big, large scale people, right? So so don't waste your time. Yeah. Go ahead, Falguni.
Right. So for the how to connect section, I think, yeah, I've pretty much left it like that, because I think dynamic connecting and dynamic commenting, all of this can only get better with better prompts in ChatGPT, but I don't think there's a more advanced tool than ChatGPT itself to help
No.
us come up with this. So
No,
I think
I want you to think about something, just a small idea I want to give you. Think about a Zapier or some other, way, or Zapier or Phantom Buster. Explore Zapier and Phantom Buster. Let's say I have 1,000 clients. Okay. Every day I want to read their post and comment on it.
right.
10 comments. Why should I do it? Can I automate the whole thing?
Right.
Right. Currently, my guys are doing it, or manually. No, can we automate? No, not connecting. Okay, you can do it
Yeah,
both.
right.
Both, yeah. You can also do it for commenting. You can also do it for connecting. So just explore that as an option, right?
Sure.
Maybe it's not even possible to do in ChatGPT 3, but maybe with ChatGPT 4, which is planned to come out in April timeframe, maybe you can literally automate commenting and connecting, in one shot. Maybe, I don't know. But maybe.
Right. And yeah, I think mostly what I've added after this is that I understood one thing, right? Like for any of these content related things, it has to be ChatGPT. But there has to be more tailored or personalized, better prompt generation. Like we'll have to provide it the most convenient prompt for it to come up with the best content for us. So I think for the rest of it, it's just literally because it's very content based. Where dynamically engaging, following up, selling, all of this requires us to use our words. And the better the prompt, the better the results, I feel. So
no, correct. Absolutely. See, even there, right? Think technically, no? Like you go to dynamic selling and I put PAS, PAS, right? What is PAS? Problem, amplify, and sell or solution. What is STAR? The situation task thing.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's all about figuring out how to make the prompt, do that effectively, right? We'll play with this. Today is when I didn't even want you guys to worry about how right now. It is just are there some big steps that we are missing, right? Is this good enough? Is this good enough? Is there a subtle step that we have completely missed, right? A subtle step. Like just to give you one small step, okay, which is a huge revelation in the last 1 week for us. If I just tell you, in level 1 we identify who's our target. Level 2 we connect with them. Okay, I'll take 100 people as an example. Okay, let's say we have identified 100 investors it's not investors, right? This is clients. 100 clients in the first step. We connected with all 100 of them using dynamic connections and dynamic commenting. Okay, how to engage? How many people connected back out of the 100? Do you guys have an idea? How many people typically? If I connect with 100, if you connect, no, let's say Olga, you connect with 100 people in LinkedIn, how many will connect back with you typically?
10 or less.
With
me.
You really need to increase your credibility. Anything below 30, something is terribly wrong with you. Right? Anything below 30. So, if we get less than 30 people connecting back with you, you really need to go back and look at your profile and, just increase your credibility. Right? Because, your credibility is super, super critical for, that. Number 2, let's say 30. And I think Olga is being humble, but let's say 30 people connect with Olga. Obviously, you're going to engage with those 30 people who connected back, right, Olga? In how to engage. What about the 70 who did not connect with you? What are you going to do with them? Are they bad people or what?
Are they what? Sorry?
No. What about the 70 people who did not connect with you?
you still make efforts to, I think
But
you
how?
comment on their posts, you still do stuff.
Think about it, guys. The guys are not listening to you. You connected with 100, 30 connected back. Now you can talk back with the 30, as much as you want. But what about the 70 who did not even connect back with you?
Maybe keep trying by changing some things of how you try to connect with them.
Olga, good idea, Olga. But trust me, it's not going to work. Because, there is a reason why they didn't connect back with you, right? Either they thought you're a time waster, or they thought, your ideas were not good enough for them, or they thought, look, this guy is going to sell something to me and I'm not interested in connecting with this person. Or you will be really surprised, they don't even log into LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Does it mean that investor who never logs into LinkedIn is a useless guy? No, he could be the most interesting investor that you need to chase. So Falguni, I can easily give you the answer right now, which we ourselves, found out just 1 week ago. But I would like you to think about it, or I'll just give you the answer by the end of this call. How do you go after those 70 people? The 70 who might matter. The 70 could become the life and death, of your investment or your revenue. But somehow you could not even, you could not even manage to connect with them.
Maybe different ways, like you could reach out to them via email or by connecting with close people to them.
Yeah, no, I think Olga, you just nailed it. So this is what we have, added now. We call it, I don't know how you will add it as a step. We call it dynamic emailing, right? And we just doubled our price. We charge $300 per month for doing, this one. So we told our clients, guys, what do you think about this new idea? Because we've been doing this for 4 years, and we never thought about what happened to those who don't connect back, right? And then we're like, wow, 70% of the people who really matter to us, we keep
Letting go of them.
letting go. 70%. It's not like 1 or 2, and if I take Olga's numbers, then it's 90%, right? It's a terrible mistake. And Olga's name, what Olga said is exactly what we do today.
That's how I feel as well, because I'm trying to look, for example, for an internship right now. And when I try to connect via people with LinkedIn, sometimes it doesn't work. So I've realized that maybe through email it does. So I've been sending emails nonstop to people. So I think it is a great step.
Awesome. And how do you find the emails, Olga?
You just have to look through LinkedIn. Some people have it on their LinkedIn page, or then you go to, if they work for a big company, then you just try to read every email that you can find of that company.
No. So look, we'll give you this access to this Apollo, right? So you go there and then you install the Chrome extension, and you click on the Apollo Chrome extension. It'll immediately give you the email of that person, right? So you don't have to search, you don't have to do anything. Just click, it should give you the email. You could use it for your internship search easily. But let me teach you something more for all of you also. I think the number one reason why nobody wants to read your email is it's the same email that you write to every single person who, let's say Olga applies to internship to 100 people. You think she will have the patience to, read about the person that she's writing to and, write a very personalized email to every, if Olga does that, I would really think she's either crazy or,
But I think that's where the favorable part comes for us. And it's for example, nowadays with ChatGPT, I've been using it a lot to write emails as well, because at the end you can write a whole email by using it, and then it's more personalized, but in 10 seconds you have a very personalized email with your information already in it.
But how will you make it personalized for the person that you're writing it to? Because
normally, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You finish. And normally I will look into what internship, for example, I'm writing to, if it's, for example, a consulting or if it's like a hospitality brand, and then I'll write all the criteria that I want within my email and what I can give to that specific internship as a person. And I kind of like target it and I target it to that specific company. And then ChatGPT just writes an email with my talents or my things that I could give to them and what I admire from that company. For example, I'll write down like, oh, I've been following your company for this many years, and then I look up and then it writes it.
Awesome. I think you're doing all the right things. I have nothing more to add to that. What I will say is, there are three elements, right? The person, always start with the person, not the company. You always say thank you. I was inspired by you and your post on that topic to look into your company, where I found this internship, and I feel like I should apply for that. Don't worry about matching. Appeal to the person, don't appeal to the job. Like, you can also appeal to the job. Right now you're doing that, isn't it?
I try to both do kinda, because at the end you try to appeal to the job, but also try to align with the values of the company or the person you're applying to, I would say.
Yeah, the person is quite interesting. If you could somehow make that the thing. So that's what we have added. So you can add one more line, Falguni, which is basically I don't know, it's a if else kind of a thing, right? So you can also run the number 100, 100 people. What about those who don't connect, right? So you can just insert for those who don't connect back, do dynamic emailing, right? Something like this, dynamic emailing for those who don't connect back, which is typically 70%, right? This is 70% is like good. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. I think the same thing on engagement also, Falguni. If you can right click and put for, I don't think you need it because I think it's already there. For those who don't engage back, what do you do? Yeah, you can just add another line between 21 and 22. You can say, for those who don't, so we tried 2 times to engage with them. Right? We tried to engage with them with our issue. We tried to engage with them with their issue, but they did not say anything. What should we? So this is your, failure scenarios. 99% of the world, right? As soon as they shut the door on you, you say thank you very much and go home. In all my life, what I've learned is you should work even more harder when somebody shuts the door on you. We have lost tens of millions of dollars of deals, and the client will always say, hey, thank you very much for, being a part of this process. We are very sorry to inform you that you didn't make it. I always spend more time with the guy who said we didn't make it than the guy who said you won it. Right? Because the guy who says you didn't make it, I'll spend more time to make sure that I form a little bit of a relationship with that person so that, I'm able to, come back if there is even 1 ounce of opportunity. I'll never try to fight back and win the deal, right? That's like unprofessional. You guys with me, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You must, and there is a industry thing. It takes 12 follow-ups, typically. The 12 follow-ups is the typical number to actually, get the meeting. Right? Whether it is your internship or whether, this is the biggest mistake that all of you will make in your life continuously. You'll write a mail, you will follow up once, and then you will close the matter. This is how 99.9% of the world will work. But you really need to write, at least 10 follow-ups, and each follow-up should be interesting than the other. Not like, hey, did you read my email? I just want to make sure, no, not like that. Cool. So, yeah, Falguni, you can just, put something over there and, I think this should be enough for, generate revenue. Yeah.
Oh God.
Cool. No, it's okay.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll stop sharing my screen then.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Shall we do thought leadership if you guys don't mind?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Yeah, I'm super interested in that.
Yeah, that's also something that I'm going to discuss further. But, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just listened to the advice and the comment you gave about Grenades group, and I don't know if we're doing it in the right direction, because we actually added few more steps according to the doc that we presented the last time. Because we thought like if we want to enrich the step, if we break the task into more smaller, different pieces for smaller targets. For example, you have a big goal, and maybe it's easier to do if you break it into different types of smaller, let's say, uh, different levels of goals, and that's what we did for this sheet. But because you said that if we can add more steps, you'll be surprised. So I was thinking maybe you were adding the steps in the not with the I would say not with the thoughts that you have in your mind, because I get it when you send the original version of the Excel. I would say these goals are rather comprehensive.
Yeah.
And I guess in the later work we have to break down all these tasks into the levels of, for example, clicking this button and try to go to this website.
Yeah.
But what we understood was that between these very detailed small steps, actions, and these very comprehensive ideas, we still have some small fractions in between. So that's what we added to the trees. But I don't know if you think this is okay. So I'm just gonna.
No, this is fantastic. Just go through exactly the way she went.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
what you guys have done. So yeah, please go through it.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to describe and explain for a little bit the thought pattern that we had. So basically we expanded the more comprehensive goals into smaller ones. And if you see here, we have this level 1. So we reorganized what we added, and the original versions are still here. So you can also always check if we have to combine some of them. So we just separated it for now. And the first step, when we're trying to get a target, we thought about the sales navigator, because since we don't have it specifically, but we know some of the functions which are quite explicit. So we can understand what we can do with this. So with the for example, the ISS score, we can use the sales navigator. But for other types of method that helps us to find the right target, we can use the cross base.
Sure.
I think that's the idea, because it specifically gave the give the list of those very pertinent targets, and we can easily find the LinkedIn page and other kinds of page where the contacts using the cross base data.
Yeah.
And so
Sorry,
we managed.
Shosho, I want to give feedback to you, both you and Volga, and also Falguni. If you go up, I really like what you have done. One thing. So Falguni, take this into your thing also. Look at the way she started. This whole thing. She's asking, what is the metric? What that means is, what is your baseline? How bad are you right now? Like, all of you should go and find your own SSI score, right? The SSI stands for, would you know what it stands for, Chow Chow?
I think it's actually assesses your power to connect and the quality that your connection is.
Yeah,
basically.
It's social selling index, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's got 4 components to it: how good you are, how good you look, how good you speak, how great are your connections, and I forget the fourth one. There are 4 components to SSI. Each component is 25, 25, 25, 25. It adds up to 100%.
Yeah.
And the great thing about SSI, it used to be available only for the paying $100 per month, customers, but now it's available to everybody. Okay, so each one of you should also know what is your SSI and follow it and make it better. This is how all of you can build your own credibility. Okay, so you can change the word platform to LinkedIn, Shashaw, because
okay.
Even if I don't tell you how to do this, you will never be able to find it yourself, because LinkedIn has hidden this SSI from the normal menu. So if you don't have Sales Navigator, you will never know you can actually find it.
Yeah.
I was really shocked that this has become free now, because it's a lot of effort, so you should. So the reason I'm even telling Olga to take notice and Falguni to take notice is, what we need, guys, is 2 things, right? What we need to tell our clients is, how bad are you right now before you came into our world? Okay, and SSI, the typical SSI score of any client we onboard is like 20 out of 100, typical. And within 1 month or 2 months, we take the score from 20 to 50 or 60. And within 6 months, we take it to 70 or 80, right? Which is incredibly powerful, so measuring the SSI score and reporting the SSI score as a core reporting metric is a very, very good thing, Falguni and Olga, right? Because I think you guys will appreciate, this is the single biggest thing that all our clients ask all the time. They ask this question, what is my how big, like before and after pictures, right? All these weight losing things, they always say, right? Okay, so this, how bad were you before and how good you are right now. So that's why I wanted to take a minute and explain SSI to all of you. The same way, I would like all of you to think about like a dashboard. What results are we achieving for our clients, and how to report that result back to our clients. And I don't want you to think complicated topics in your head. The dashboard should be so simple, right? It has to be so simple. How many I contacted, how many connected, how many posts that I did, what impressions did I get, how many followers did I make. Like, it should be like SSI score last month, SSI score this month, like 6 or 7 things, which is so easy that any fool can understand, how the progress is being made. Is that
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Falguni.
Does HubSpot not report out these insights when you contact?
The issue is, we don't manage our client data on HubSpot. We manage our data on HubSpot, Falguni.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Yes, HubSpot will report it, but you will be really surprised. All these guys are really, to buy the reporting functionality of HubSpot is $1,000 per month.
Oh God.
No, these guys are really, they're painful actually. The normal $100 subscription allows you to use everything but not reporting.
Right.
So that's why I'm still in Excel. Otherwise, I would have easily moved to HubSpot.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Cool. Go ahead, Chasha.
Okay. So yes. So basically, I get the idea that you're providing us. So we have to pay extra attention to how to suggest the level that the clients are. And it's important to help them to build a dashboard to keep track of, let's say, like self-assessing, or like we help them to assess their profile in a constant base. And so like thanks to StepUp, we have this very good metrics of the standards that we can work on. And then if we go to the level 2, we will try to build this profile also with a lot of posts a lot of topics discussed within, you know, the daily posting. So we try to break down all those like the contents, how to create the original content.
Yeah.
Like here. So we maybe we will identify. I think very important idea here is that we want to have a method to try to track what are interesting to the client, to their industry. Maybe they want to expand their business. Maybe they want to forecast their own business. And if we can get these topics, and if we can expand these topics in a very expert way, whether that is using a AI tool or it is using some content provided by the clients, so like they have their inputs, they want us to, you know, build their profile according to a very specific thing in a certain period. So we can try to track how important these keywords are. For example, using Google Trends, it will give us the indicators of evaluating it. And after that, we will use, for example, ChatGPT or other kinds of article generating AIs to have these original posts. And the same thing for the finding a trustworthy article or news and that kind of stuff. And also for the comments and also for the original post, so we thought about maybe we can try to use AI tools where we can have a more personalized language, so they can modify the standard writing from, for example, ChatGPT, because everything it writes is very consistent in terms of the style. So maybe we can try to apply some personalized like language tools to make it in a, you know, more consistent but personalized specific language style. So this is for the post part. And after that, we have this group joining stuff. And we also think about using the LinkedIn to find the target groups. And also maybe we can also find if the prompt phrase is helping us. For example, we can try to measure if there's a group includes a lot of practitioners in a certain company, and this company is very interesting to the client. And then we will try to just use the LinkedIn profile and some social skills to try to understand the activity and the roles and and the roles of the specific group. And we're still thinking about if there's any way to make this easier, because I think from this part most of the things are in text, and if read all the text within a group with all the rules and activities, it could be hard. So is there any like data-based standards that we can look at to use it to evaluate this group in a faster way? So so that is what we are still considering.
Very good.
Yeah. So but for the first step, at least we maybe want to look at if there's anything we can do with designing the prompts to target to the better groups, because I think in the product there are only 5 groups which are desirable, so not many groups to join in, but to choose the very pertinent one. So maybe this part could be explored more. And okay, so then we come back to this original version. And here if we go to the dynamic commenting, I also added these AI tools. So there are 3 types of AI tools I found quite interesting. The first one is to actually shorten the article. So for example, you're reading a super long post from one of the connections. This tool can shrink the size or simplify the idea of this article to make it easier to understand. I don't know how much we can use this, but at least it will help the employees to understand better parts, maybe, and maybe help us to find the keywords, etc. And another one is that you can try to use it to create more personalized writings. I talked about it before. And here we also have I also found this AI tool, but I haven't tried it yet because it's also like paid tools to it can actually, if you give it a topic, it will give you some news around this topic under like in the recent time period, which are discussed on the internet. So yeah, that's quite interesting. But yeah, I think for the future platform, we still need to look at it more with more efforts. So basically, that's what we have.
Chocho, I didn't give you feedback for everything, but I want to give a quick feedback to all three so that we can. What you have done is fantastic. Okay, I want to say that first because this is really a great thing that you have done. Because you have added a lot of science. Like we simply ask our client 2 questions. What are your top 3 keywords? Okay. And our clients always struggle to answer this simple question. Because I don't know why, but you also think about it, right? If I ask, Sriram, what are the top 3 keywords that you want to be known for? Do you think he'll know it? Not really. Not really. It might sound like a really easy question, but you ask yourself, do you really know, Olga, Sriram, Snigdh? Do you really know what you want to be known for? Not really, but what you have done, Xiao, is really good because you're creating a science of how to know what you want to be known for. Like, what are the top trending words in retail industry in America? It's not the same thing. Like, what are the top 3 trending things in Japan in retail, right? It'll be completely 2 different things, because Japan is in a different trajectory and US is in a different time. So I think if we can figure out a scientific way, I just to be blunt with you, I don't like any of the platforms that you have recommended because these are not the real good platforms. These are like, really basic platforms like even Google Trends and LinkedIn. I'm looking for, something like mind-blowing, like Apollo, something that will like SEMrush or some, something really, new Silicon Valley AI, and it says, hey, tell me your industry, tell me your world, copy paste your LinkedIn about section. I will tell you what are the top 3 things that you should be known for. Or tell me something, it should, I just feel, remember, make sure you are able to do the difference. Let's say you guys work for Fujitsu, okay? You all joined this company, Fujitsu. So Fujitsu.com can be analyzed and top 3 keywords can be easily, come out in like 5 minutes. Okay. But Olga or Falguni cannot be analyzed and told, oh, these are the 3 things that you need to be worried about. You have to remember there are 1,000 tools available for brands. I want you to find one tool for people. You see the difference? They are completely different.
Yeah, I think now what we have done is that we try to break this into smaller steps that is able to be applied with the tools that we're familiar with. But maybe you're trying to think maybe like a further step. Yeah, we need to find something that's more, one button and one click, and it's more comprehensive.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's more comprehensive.
Yeah.
It can automatically assess the thing. Yeah,
Correct.
I think, we'll try it. Yeah.
Something, I'm not even thinking, complicated. I really like your way of thinking, identify the scope, the news, the central topic, the relevant. Everything you have done is perfect. It's just that I want you to think you have thousands of tools if you're a company. You have pretty much none if you're a human, if you're a normal person, even if you're a CEO, right? So that is what I want you to think, and you'll be able to find something. But very good work, Chocho.
Yeah, we'll try to find something that's more adequate.
Cool. All right, let's go to the next one. Raising capital. Don't forget the same feedback I gave to Falguni, Chocho, before and after. Yeah, think of those 2 things. Before you had no investors, now you are connected with 1,000 investors. Before you had no conversation, now you had 20 conversations. Before you had no funding, now you have, some. So this before and after comparison is a very powerful comparison to be put into the dashboard. So keep that in your mind for thought leadership, for revenue, and for just before and after. Yes, Olga.
Now I'll share my screen because now I figured out how to do that. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. So here you see. So what we did, Carlota couldn't join today, but I had a bit of difficulty at the start approaching the project because I didn't know that we didn't have to add any steps. So when I was reading it, I thought it was like pretty much very good, and it aligned very good with what we thought were the right steps to follow. Then I ended up adding one step, which was the strong profile, but I guess you already have that with like beforehand. But we still, when we had the meeting, we said that that was like one of the most important steps when connecting with investors and having like a straightforward like profile that aligns also with like the client's value, I thought.
Yeah. I think it is already there in the foundation, but I'm glad you added it. See, especially for raising capital, you're asking for 1 million, 10 million, 100 million,
exactly.
asking for money. And do you know how credible you need to look before you ask anybody?
Very much.
I often tell we are winning so many jobs on this raising capital. I always keep telling them, if your social selling index is below 70, don't even do this raising capital. Below 70, don't even do raising capital, because you look like an idiot who's asking for a lot of money.
Exactly.
Right? Unless, I don't know. So you're right, Olga. I think you put a very strong thing, but I hope it's understood, right? I have moved the foundation before. That's why, you're not able to.
Of course, I just put it there because we said like the importance of it. I didn't even put it as a level. I just put it to like remark that it's like underline. But then for the level 1, which is who was your target, I was like looking on it, and I think Crunchbase, of course, is a very strong tool, and you guys already work with that, so I would stay with it. But then, for example, for clean up the potential investors, I found out that, for example, asking ChatGPT questions for the people that are working on it is very helpful. Then for segmenting the target, I found out Power Query and Power Pivot are great tools to do that, because it like lets you like see more in a spacious way, and it like aligns them very nicely. Absolutely. So maybe those would be of great importance. Then I found out for the strong profile, for example, there is the AI tool, which is Resume Rewarded, which looks out in LinkedIn for specific keywords that you could share with potential investors. So I thought that would be of great. So right now what I'm focusing on more is future AI tools that we could use, for example, and I'll share it with you when I'm finished, but it's like an instruction of like what these different AI tools could benefit and their cost and what do they do. Awesome. So Resume Rewarded is one, and StepUp is another one. All the ones that I researched, some of them you have to pay, but they never go above like 300 or something, or some of them are free. So I think that's manageable to say so. And then dynamic commenting and dynamic connecting, I just added the dynamic email because I think it's a great idea also for investors, because you have to follow them and be straightforward, and I think email is a great way to do that as well.
Absolutely.
So then I underline the follow-up because it's very important with potential investors. And then again, strong profile on how to impress. We can do that again with Resume Rewarded and StepUp if we would want to, but with ChatGPT you can also do it on like looking, for example, like what does a strong profile look for someone who is interested in consulting, or when you're looking for a startup in renewable batteries or something. So I think that's a great thing to use always. And then I didn't really add many new steps here either. I just looked for new AI tools, for example, Sprout Social and Buffer Analyze. They analyze, like many others, how you're doing and if you're reaching out the correct way, and they will like suggest new changes, for example, and chatbots same.
Olga, can you just go up? I want to give you a very
Of course.
One of the you know that the biggest challenge that you have to solve, Olga,
Yeah.
is, today we use three sources to identify the right target investors. What we believe is identifying the right investors is 50% job done. Literally. Because unlike a sales, investment is like a marriage. It's like a quick, like a date. Not even a marriage, right? Because both parties want it. That's not true in sales. You understand? If you're trying to sell something, right? It's not like the other guy wants your product. Sometimes he doesn't want your product, right? But if you look at an investor and the founder, they really want this date to happen. It's just that they're looking for the right personality, to make that happen. So this identifying the right investors is something that I want you to think a lot about. Crunchbase, I'll give you access to Crunchbase Pro. You can look at it, etc. But after a while, it becomes very boring. These, you know who Crunchbase Pro brings up? Reid Hoffman, Sam Altman. All these, the old investors who've been investing for hundreds of years. But there could be this angel investor in London in Borough Market having a lobster stall, but he could be an angel, because he has like investing a couple of $1 million, because nobody is really knowing who that guy is, right? All the big products, right, always come up with these big investors, as the number one investors. We have to somehow do something to find the right investors, Olga. I think about that. I don't want to too much direction. Currently, we have three things, and I'll give you all three things: Crunchbase, Apollo, and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. These are the three places where we can hunt for the right investor. Okay. Crunchbase, Apollo, and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Yeah. Okay. We can search for but
I'll look them up. Yeah.
I'm not happy with all. I mean, I don't say I'm not happy, right? We are executing hundreds of jobs, with this. I think we are missing something.
Okay, I'll look into it for sure. Because I agree with that. Yeah.
Especially the angel list, the new angels, the new investors like you and me, with new something we are interested, right? Nobody pitches to people like us. They are all pitching to Sam Altman all the time. And 1,000 pitches every day, right? But all we want is like 50K.
Yeah.
To start something in London, right? So I want you to think about angels, seed investors, angel groups, angel list, angel networks, small. Think of something. In fact, if you can solve this one problem, you have done every 1,000 times better than the rest of all.
Wouldn't it be a possibility, for example, if you would go into LinkedIn or something like that and then look for keywords that you could share with someone potentially in LinkedIn, and then I know probably it's like a way longer process because then you would like have to research them and see if they actually would have the money or like the research to invest. But I think that would be a way to find people that haven't been discovered yet, for example.
I mean, we can try it. We are already doing that. For example, we are campaigning for a credit card, new type of a credit card, startup. So when we ask for the right investors, we tell LinkedIn, we tell Crunchbase, okay, look for all investors who have invested in payments, who have invested in charge cards, debit cards, credit cards, mobile payments. So we already give all these keywords and ask Crunchbase to give me only those investors who have invested in these kind of keywords.
Okay.
Right. So we do that already. my problem, Olga, is we are doing all the good things on the same old platforms like Crunchbase, Apollo, and
Okay, yeah.
right? Maybe there are some really cool ones out there that we haven't even heard of.
Okay, I'll take a look for sure, because I thought Crunchbase, you were happy with the work, but I'll look into it for sure. For example, I was like looking into ChatGPT because maybe they had a new solution, but at same, like I was like putting in like I'm a company, I'm looking for investors, and I would put very specific things, and they would give me this major investors that it's not even like a possibility, like always the same ones.
It's very interesting what you just now said. I think I'm going to try Bing and see, what it gives me, right? The latest Bing.
Yeah.
Right. I'll try. I'll send you guys the result on what, because I've
okay, perfect. Yeah.
Just got access to that. Cool. Yeah. Go ahead, Olga. I'm sorry.
Cool.
I just
no problem. It's good to know. Yeah, it's super good to know, because I'll work on that now while I was like ignoring it a bit. Yeah. But yeah, I think that was my part. So like then it goes to like how to impress. But again, I think that's a very like straightforward point, because there's so many AI tools nowadays that you see how many people are like reaching to you or not. And it's just like keeping up to date and having a track and an Excel where you, like you said, like you'll say like I follow up this and this person commented, clicked back, and so on. And then Carlota worked on level 4 and 5, which is how to engage with the pitch and set up the meeting. Yeah. And I think she's still working on looking for future AI tools, but I think her points are also like way more straightforward in the sense that it's keeping track of the points and having it all like written down. And nowadays we have, I think she had a question, which was if you already use Calendly to, but I think you do, right? Because like last time you told me so. Yeah. So she thought that was a great idea to use.
Yeah, Calendly we use all the time. See, yeah. I think there are the two most important thing is I will with your permission try to modify this list so that
of course
I will try to give you the most important ones. Identifying the right target audience is 50% job. Number two, okay. This dance, this dance that we are doing in this here, right, is not really, that's why I gave the example of a date versus a sale, right? A sale is where you need to do this dance, you're trying to do a relationship with, like a sale is almost like a big marriage, right? But a investor and the thing is almost like a date. Let's just get it, just finish it, right? Just I want to know who you are. I want to know who I am, and let's see if we have a match, right? So yeah, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to check if you're a marriage material, I'm not trying to go that far, right? So here I want to completely change, this whole thing, right? I want to tell an investor, hey, I have a startup. I'm trying to solve this problem. Would you be interested? So it's almost like bang, bang, bang. No dancing around, no, this thing, right? It's straight to the point. And the same way, I really think, the one big thing for investors is how to pitch your, product or whatever new innovation you got, and customize it specifically. Like Olga, it's exactly what you're doing for internal applications.
Yeah.
Intern application. Exactly, that's what I want for investment pitches. And I don't want
that's great. Yeah.
Any dancing around, any my name is this, no, nothing, no bullshit, nothing. You straight go to the point and you basically say, hey, I love what you do. I've been reading about you. This is all it's exactly what you do for an intern application. That's exactly what we need to do in prompt engineering for this one. Does it make sense?
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, makes lots of sense.
All that other details are, not really important, because you're not trying to make, are you interested or not? Just finish, don't make me, hang, don't leave me, high and dry, right? Just tell me you're interested or not. Finished.
Yeah, I think that's very clear. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. For example, you just tell them what you could, like what they could benefit from you, what you benefit from them, and if they use your values, then it will click. If not, you're not gonna be.
I'm not gonna beg you. I'm not gonna start. Just keep telling you, consider me, follow up. Did you read my email? Nothing. right? I have a, so I want you to think about that, Olga.
Okay, I'll do that.
Audience and how do I pitch? Once I've got the audience, how do I pitch? No wasting time. I go
Okay.
and say, I'm interested in you. Would you like to go on a date with me or not? Just that's it. That's it. There is no nonsense. There is no haggling around, right? So do that, and then we will,
Perfect. Yeah.
and the tool and everything for you, I think, yeah, there is a lot of other things that I think, maybe Carlota can focus on. For example, how strong your social proof should be. Social proof for you as a founder, and social proof for the company.
Okay.
It is not very clearly there. It might be there in the foundation, but you might want to say two things. How strong is your social proof for yourself as a founder, and how strong is your how to measure social proof.
Okay.
I think you can ask Carlota to think about it, because I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Sure, no problems. I think it's already, we are going to close the call in another 1 minute. So yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. So social proof is, I don't know how to actually say the analogy. It's like, yeah, I mean, you just want to know that this guy is a credible person. His company is credible. There are lots of people. It's active. It's jiving. You like, you don't want to date a psycho, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how do you know whether this person is?
Yeah, like kind of do like some rules or some like instructions on like how to know that person you can rely on, and how to look reliable yourself.
Exactly. That's precisely got
okay.
it. Precisely what
I'll look into that, and I'll tell Carlota.
Literally that's all. Okay, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to
Thank you.
This this is really good. Yeah, let's meet next week. We will keep talking on WhatsApp. I'll give the access, etc., to all of you guys, either individually or to all the people. Anything else, Karan, that you want to add?
So yeah, just about the project and the schedule of it. So like now we are 1 month like through the project, and we found with the service. So I think around this point of time we are looking to move towards the prompt generation.
Sure.
So so we've today presented 3 products: raise capital, generate revenue, and increase thought leadership.
Yeah.
So we just like wanted your sign off on the on how many of the services you're most satisfied with, because I know like we want us to work further on raise capital.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. So like we've also done, work on the AI tools that we want to use, and we've also given you a list of options, some AI tools that you can give us access to, and some AI tools for which we can get access to ourselves. So
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, just moving forwards, like now it's because we'll also have one mid-cycle presentation where we show, the work we've done on the prompts.
Yeah.
So at this point of time, we'd want to get like the sign off on the services, so that we can work towards the prompt generation.
Sure.
So I think, if you're happy with generate revenue and increase thought leadership where we are right now, and the work we've done.
Yeah. So look, I'm happy with all three, from a mid-cycle, happy with all three this thing. I think we have just expanded the whole thing. We have to find the right AI tool. I will basically delete everything that is unnecessary and wasting your time. And I will also add anything that is important in this thing. And all we need to do is, what is the input, what is the platform, and what is the output. We can literally forget about, the old way of doing things. Okay.
Exactly.
The old way of doing things is just to educate you, how we did things. But the only thing that you need to focus on from now onwards is how are we going to do it in the new world? What is the input? What is the input? What is the platform? And what is the output? That's it, right? That's all we need to. Like in some cases, the input is the description of the person in LinkedIn. The platform is the ChatGPT prompt, the prompt itself, and the output is an email that is a personalized email that comes out of it. Something simple, easy to understand, and also just make sure that we capture them in Scribe so that it's documented. What I will do, I will if you guys can share me your emails, I will invite you into those things also, so that you can.
Yeah. So like moving forward for this week, we'd want your sign off on the services.
You will.
So we can start working, and also the AI tools, of course.
Yeah.
so that we can start with the prompt generation soon, like in the coming week.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so if it's possible, can we meet again earlier next week? Or would you be giving us the sign off after you've gone through the tools and
No,
WhatsApp?
let's do it. I don't honestly, Karan, I don't really care. I think you guys
Okay.
are doing a fantastic job. I can
Yeah.
give stuff even today. It's
Yeah.
not, but what I'm saying is, let's meet next week, Wednesday or Thursday, whichever day you guys are fit. I'm happy to meet, later in the evening if that would make, because I really want all of you to be there. So that's the only thing. After that, we can give the sign off. And in the meantime, I'll give you guys access to all the tools. You guys could use some of these tools to, do some of the work also that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
So so about the access only. So as for generate revenue and increase thought leadership, we are using Sales Navigator. Could you maybe get the access to that, so even the consultants are familiar with how the platform works, and
I'll give Sales Navigator, Crunchbase, Apollo, all three access to the ones that you needed.
Yeah.
And also, other than that, maybe Phantom Buster for somebody who might need to know how to automate stuff, and Zapier.
Okay.
These are the tools: Zapier, Phantom Buster, Apollo, Crunchbase. Yeah, 5-6 tools. Yeah, I'll give you guys access.
So next week we can meet for the sign off once. So would you be working also on the Excel now?
Yeah,
would you be having suggestions or okay?
I'll work on the Excel. I will delete the steps that are just completely, not going to add value.
Okay.
Now make sure I give you that input and output and this thing, so that it's really clear for you to put your thoughts in, and the last thing I want is confusion, right? Nobody wants.
So meanwhile we could get access to some of the tools and start working for the prompts if it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think prompts is the number one thing that we need to know.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So I think so if you have